Chris Candido. No gimmicks needed.
I didn't realise until I read the book, No Gimmicks Needed, by John Cosper and Jonny Candido, that Shawn Michaels and Chris had a bit of heat not related to Tammy at all, and I didn't realise until reading it. Can you explain?
Yeah, there was. I want to say it was all the wrestling history stuff in there. John Cosper wrote, but I remember my brother telling me about this. I think it was like a lumberjack match, and my brother and Shawn were opposite each other, and they both fell out of the ring like right next to each other, and my brother commenced to whomping the hell out of him and threw him back in the ring, and for some reason, like backstage, Shawn Michaels was, "What the fuck? You like fucked up the finish." He's like, you were laying right next to me. How could I not hit you? Like, what the fuck? We're against each other. And they got into it. I heard they got into it pretty freaking, it didn't come to blows, but it was just about to, pretty much. And it was about, the two of them fell, like I said, like boom, right next to each other. He's like, what am I supposed to do? Pretend he's not there? So, that was their first bone of contention. Because Michaels was like, "Oh, you're gonna fuck the finish up," and my brother's like, "How could I just not hit you if you're fucking right next to me?"
Yeah, in the book, it's almost half understanding Shawn Michaels in the sense that he, was under so much pressure, and it's been said many other times that when he had the title in '96, he was even more difficult to deal with because he had the weight of the world on his shoulders. And I don't know if you know any more about that or can speak to that.
Well, I think he, as well as my brother, felt like he put in his time. I remember seeing him on the indies with my brother and Sabu, just like, everybody else. And he felt like he put in his time. He did the Rockers thing, and it was his time to shine. A lot of guys who, whatever Shawn Michaels, whatever, you could say about him is he's very passionate about wrestling. He takes it very seriously, and so does my brother. And I think that Shawn Michaels got to the spot he got to, and felt, and he did deserve it and wanted to stay there, and that's probably why he was hard to deal with. Like he told me when I sat next to him in the locker room, he's like, "Kid, sometimes if you gotta, if you want to make it in this business, you gotta be out for yourself and be kind of a jerk sometimes."
Yeah, with obviously, and it's been done to death, and I won't harp on it. Tammy, Shawn, there's a 9-month affair, and Chris was obviously never okay with it, even though he internalized a lot of the upset that he was dealing with. As far as the clique goes, I know there was a confrontation in '97 in the locker room, but before then, what were Chris's run-ins or hanging outs with members of the clique?
They were fine. Like, I remember him like being friends with all of them. Like him and 1-2-3 Kid were buddies. Him and Shawn Michaels were buddies. I think it was once that I don't know how long once they got there that Tammy started banging Shawn, but so it wasn't right away. So I remember my bro being cool with them for a couple months and telling me this guy's cool. And then after that, it was like madness. Like the two, she was doing her thing with him. He was going fucking crazy about it. So he at the time, he was going crazy about something. I didn't know what, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
well, bringing this up because we'll go to ECW well, actually, we're going now then. Do you remember this locker room thing? Because I'd never heard the story that with the triple threat, Scott Hall turns up to ECW just to watch the show with his kid, and he gets a frosty reception from Shane, Bam Bam, and Chris. And I think it was probably Shane leading it. But, do you remember that at all?
No, I remember the story of it, of him going there. And I think it was kind of like... because I know Shane had a tough time up there, and so I think it was like now he's in our territory and let's break his balls a little bit, because he was, over there they were breaking his balls. So, I don't remember a ton of this. I could picture my brother kind of giving him the cold shoulder or whatever. I remember years later in Japan they made up. They were on a bus together, and they were sitting next to each other. Scott Hall's like, "Chris, man, why are you such a dick to me, dude?" He's like, me being a dick to you. He's like, you were a dick to me. He's like, I knew it was one of us. And they freaking laughed, and they laughed it off. And then they were buddies after that. But yeah, that all the wrestling historian stuff, John Cosper knows better than I do. All the personal stories are the ones that I added mostly, and like what was going on behind the scenes.